Greetings and salutations yet again, May 25th, 2025, and it is a beautiful day to have a beautiful day, hopefully without making things more complicated than need to be, and keeping things safely situated because Grandpuppers has been very patient today. He has been ready to come out and do some puppy stuff and sniff around and do border patrol stuff. So check all the messages. Everybody okay? How's mom and them? Anything new in the hood? All good? I'm tired. Things are getting better. I am truly believing for that. I'm focusing on solutions and resolutions. That was one of the things I was talking about. The Gemini being twins. And the way I see that in my chart, and the fact that I am Pisces, just seen as two fish. And that's seen as a lot of times, the way I translate that is the subconscious and the conscious. So I got double twins that way. And then I'm a Leo rising, which in the tarot way of looking at things, energetically they associate that with the Sun card. And as a Pisces, not only are you twin fish, but it's associated as the Moon card and also High Priestess. So, thinking in the ways of Tower of Babel and the way the ancients showed us to look at things was like an energetic key of how to work with energies based on astrological events. They give you forewarnings of the energetic impacts of sky daddy woo-woo weirdnesses is how that feels. And it's up to us on how are we going to play with them energies. How are we going to focus them energies? Well, or what are we trying to achieve? Health, healing. What is the best way to utilize these energies so that I'm not perpetuating any negative karma and I am balancing out any residual up. That way I'm not perpetuating any evil onto my babies. I do not want to project or deflect any arc. I am trying to make sure that I don't knee-jerk in unhealthy ways that I witnessed growing up because they didn't know. Forgive them, Lord, they know not what they're doing. No, they're not being the most beautiful reflection of you in this moment. If they just calm down, think about it, and try again, and not take everything so personal, and maybe try to see somebody else's point of view. Stop listening so that you can answer and be defensive. Shoo. Really, what is going on? Really, take a minute. Are you okay, honey? You sure you okay? Love you, Father. I give all the up to you, and I know that you are. Handle it. Was that welcome back, Carter? Handle it. Wasn't that the principal? It was just kind of there to hobnob and glad hand people. But the hard stuff, somebody else is going to handle it. And that's the way I see that Father wants us to do. Honey, look at all the beautiful things I gave you to enjoy. Get out and enjoy it. Everything's working out. Everything's always working out. It's going to be alright. It's going to be okay. Love healer. I am open to miracles, Father. I am excited to see just how good He is. I always have said for years and years and years, when Father shows up for me, He shows up. Him and the angels the highest level of light, and they show out. Ta-da! It's always better than it was before. I'm always better for it. More appreciative, more quicker, faster, smarter at recognizing the ugly patterns, and I am not perpetuating that. I'm not participating in it. I'm staying in my peace. That's on them. Father, right me in my wrongs. Help me not to wobble so much, and help me to quickly be able to get it steady, quicker, faster, better, and not let any of it bring me out of my peace. I love you, loving you in these moments. What are you rolling in down there? Seriously? You better not. You better not be getting into stuff you ought not be rolling in, brother. Ain't even for you, Mr. Pooper Pepper. Why do dogs? I mean, I know it masks their scent, so I guess for hunting I can understand. But, so proud of himself when he gets extra stinky. I see you watching me. Hello. Wow. Y'all are extra good at your camouflage. But I really wish that you wouldn't hyper-focus me in while you're doing those kind of spring playing things. I didn't need to witness that, and why you felt the need to share it with me, I don't know. You could have waited until you were finished and instead of saying personal preference on my part. Not that I'm being judgy, I'm just saying. I realize that y'all are conveniently in the moment, very happy, and I thank you for sharing your joy of it. And actually, we were two birds, one stone right there at the same moment. Hello, happy to see you. You're happy, alright? Anyway, not being judgy. Anyway, God bless you. Be fruitful, multiply. All that. Woo woo. Anyway, whatever, weirdos. And Meladrino, I wish you could bottle that. The honeysuckle. Mixed in with the the breeze. The winds. Each of the trees have their own unique colors. And the way the pine trees are pollinating right now, it's not too strong or overpowering. Seriously, when you get out in nature, y'all, breathe with your mouth open a little bit, too. In the moment, and breathe deep into your heart. Oh, wow. Talk about tasting the moment in a whole new way. Thank you. I was reminded today of Mama's accuracy, and I double checked with her, y'all, and I am remembering it correctly. When we lived down there at what I remember is Turkey Creek there in Sneeds Ferry. Down there, not far from where the midgets had a house built that sat empty down at the end of the point there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bi-level house. Anyway, but it used to be, Mom said it was a winery at one time, and it had tobacco barn, and it had old warehouse that they used, I guess, I don't know what all. And then it had the old house, which at that point had to have been about maybe, it was close to 100 years old back then. And that was in what, 74, 75, somewhere in there, about that time. And was after we had lived at the McAllister's house, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, that's where we would have the squad parties. I mean, squadron parties, y'all. All of them would come out with their families, and they would bring tents and camp out in the yard, and we would all throw in together whatever food stuff. And Uncle Jess would get out there with trash cans. Guamanian. Uncle Jess was a Guamanian. And him and Aunt Carmen and their daughter Roseanne. Oh, you talk about beautiful. Oh, Aunt Carmen was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. And Roseanne was a spitting image of her mama. And dear Lord, was Uncle Jess proud of them. Oh, Lord, he loved his. Oh, did he honor them beautifully, I thought. Anyway, Uncle Jess would get out there with the trash cans, and that man could barbecue a chicken over a trash can fire that was better than anything I think I've ever eaten in a restaurant. And how he did it, I don't know, but him and Aunt Carmen both were excellent cooks. It's amazing. Anyway, so yeah, man, we had a lot of fun. Anyway, one of the things that they used to let you get out there doing, other than horseshoes, because that was a big thing, they were great at horseshoes. Mom was always on, when she had time, she was on a softball team. My mom was very gifted softball ways. So was Aunt Judy played on the softball league. She was a shortstop, and she was a big ass woman. from Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember how that's from. Anyway, but man, you talk about, she was big as, and she had, her and Uncle Dan had several kids, lots of kids. Collins, Judy Collins, anyway, Uncle Dan Collins, anyway, I really did. Anyway, one of the things that they would do when they got together, other than horseshoes, was archery. We target practice with guns, archery, whatever. His dad was a sharpshooter, and my dad was highly decorated in the military. He really was. Anyway, so archery, and Mom, of course, got in on it, and my dad never ever hesitated. If Barbara Ann wanted to do whatever with them, well, come on. He encouraged it. Fishing, oh my God. Man, did they fish awesome together. That's where we came together as a family, doing outdoor stuff like that. Was one way for them to avoid fighting. And man, I knew when we were having a good moment, I tuned into it extra deep. I dug in like a little billy goat. Held on to it with everything I had. Savoring the moment. I didn't know how long it was going to last. And honestly, I was smart enough to recognize Dad had a bug out bag kept packed in the closet for a reason. And if he ever come in and grabbed it, well, we weren't allowed to ask where he was going, how long he was going to be, or when he was going to be back, for a reason. And if I was smart enough to recognize it's a very real possibility I may never see my daddy again, y'all. I knew that from a very young age. That's not stupid. Are you kidding me? Did y'all not pay attention to what was going on worldwide news and stuff? I heard with my own ears my dad say one time that he had Saddam Hussein in a foxhole trapped and was giving orders not to take him out, and if he'd have just done it, he'd have saved the world a whole lot. That ate my dad up. And he had to follow that order. Anyway, survivor's guilt, y'all. And you're told to stand down when everything tells you would be for the greater good. That's a hard thing to do. But you have to be able to do things in such a way that you can live with yourself and answer for every bit of it. So, and I think my dad did a fine job of that, really. The way that he energetically taught me things. And I don't think Mom understood the enormity of some of that stuff at the time. That I, in retrospect, being my weirdo, unique self, having my unique perspective about things on deeper, other levels than other people see. Because, hello, I'm a weirdo that loves playing Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, and that is about logic and different perspectives and ways of points of view and looking at things, because you're creating in your head as you go with a chaos factor, and that's the whole thing that God does. Hello, that's everything in a nutshell. And what we are in this physical vessel is, in this particular moment, God able to express himself as us. He's experienced life as us, through us. We are what pierces the veil of bringing him to reality is the way I'm seeing it. Anyway, that's slave going. That's fun, darling. Hello, Billy Goat. What are you doing, goofball? I was hoping to get over there and stop the video teasing before he could come over and help Grandma. He's really, yeah, that's really not actually helpful, my darling, but